Everybody, welcome back. YouTube.com/Geek.Aloud. It's Monday night. It's right around 8 p.m.-ish. So I'm here, Troy, on the couch with Steve, of course, the Gaming Enforcement Agency on duty. Steve, are you with me there on Discord, sir?
Mate, I am on duty. I'm also on a couch, just not in the same location as your good self.
On duty on separate couches. We think safety here first. Don't just have one couch. You always need a redundancy in your couches. Let that be a lesson to the newcomers. What else can I tell newcomers? We start the show with game interrogation and deliberation. That's right. Steve and I will take you through the games we've been gaming this week of Gameful Gaming, and we'll talk about them, and it's great. And then we'll do some sort of news. We'll tell you what's been happening in the world of news. Then there is, of course, the standoff, the best bits versus the other best bits of what this week? I'll tell you what, it's of Uncharted. It's our favourite scenes, set pieces, if you will, from the Uncharted franchise. And we round it all off with a bit of audience interrogation. That's right, you and the audience can play along at home, chat to us, typing style, in the YouTube chat as we go. We round it all up at the end. We would love to read your thoughts and opinions from the evening. So, without further ado, first up tonight, Game 1 on Game Interrogation and Deliberation. Wait a minute, I've got an opener to roll. Game 1 this evening is Call of Duty. Now, this is Call of Duty Vanguard. This is the single-player campaign. Now, we're taking it nice and slow this year because we were told it was a short one. This is Mission 8 of 9. Steve, you've played it, I've played it. Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
I did, and I was very, very happy. Well, you'll be happy first to know that I get an A+ on my assignment this week, finishing this one very early in the week as opposed to last week.
Nailed it, mate. Good job.
I did, and I was very happy to see that we were continuing our story with the Aussie boys.
Aussies, how good's Des? My new favourite character, Des, character of the year.
Oh, mate, give us a whole game with Des as far as I'm concerned. These
yes, please.
Like where this game should have been set the whole time, maybe.
Yes. Now, if there's ever been a better reason for why we need an Australian set Call of Duty, this is it. Please, Steve, keep going.
Oh, mate, it was the perfect continuation of the last level, and it was cathartic. It was loud. It brought that feeling of the war, which pretty much the whole game's been doing this whole time. But just when you have those tanks rolling in through the sand and just everything going on above you and you're pushing through with all those tanks, dude, like the adrenaline was going.
It was. Steve, tell me, did you get the trophy like I did for getting run over by one of your own tanks?
No, I don't think I'm that bad at gaming.
I didn't think you would have been, mate. And I actually cut it out of this footage, but I ran headlong straight into the first tank and squished me. The achievement popped, and I thought, well, they saw me coming.
No, I just think this was it. The game just keeps going from strength to strength, and
it really does.
I have started the last mission, which we'll talk about next week, and the culmination of what we've been playing at the moment does add up quite nicely to what we're about to get into in the final episode.
Absolutely, mate. I'm going to tell you, when I forced the controller down at the conclusion of this very, very excellent, high-quality, top-notch, top-tier Call of Duty mission, it was a struggle to put the controller down and not just run through that final mission. I love the story. I love the way it's culminating, the way they're tying all the characters together. I'm there, hook, line, and sinker. Man, do I want to see that final mission. I'm going to say, if you haven't played last year's Call of Duty campaign, you have missed a special one. It really is top-notch.
No, it is great fun. It's initially I was a bit put off by the fact that you're not playing as a single character in a game, because I do prefer that kind of usual progression of playing one character, unlocking certain things in that character and having that sort of story out go from start to finish.
Yeah.
You think, I'm going to play a different character each time. What's the point really of both? They've all got their different mechanics as well. So
yes,
our mechanic doesn't carry over level to level, which can be, like if you do like a mechanic in a certain level, you're not getting that the next level unless you're in this one, which is, of course, 2 levels essentially with the same character. But what was Dez's ability? I can't even think.
Well, I think I only saw it once, man. It was getting squashed by a tank.
He's good, mate. Good. I'll get you a trophy, so clearly that's canon.
Yeah. That's in there now. It's perfect. No, mate, I don't know what his special ability was. The only thing that's jumping to my mind is Des constantly telling you to throw a banger in there, mate. Throw a banger in there. I reckon it was maybe he could carry 2 extra hand grenades more than any other character. I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe that's it. Actually, does have a fair few different grenade types, so maybe that is his thing.
It's got to be about the bangers, mate. Throw a banger in there.
Oh, banger, mate. I can't remember. There was a real funny line. I think it was actually the end of the last mission where the plane was flying over. Something about shoot that flying asshole down.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was a great moment. I just, everything about...
Shoot that flying asshole.
Yeah. I love the Aussie slang. I see no reason why they couldn't have an entire game full of it, mate. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I love it too. So, no, it continues from strength to strength, this game. It does keep getting better and better. And, yeah, as I said, the final mission, I couldn't put the controller down quite as quickly as you could because I was pretty keen. But it does lead us to our next story as to, why
it does.
More Call of Duty on my console at the moment.
It does. Throw a banger in there. I've got to ask, Steve, you sent me out to throw a banger and find some footage, and here it rolls right now for Modern Warfare. Steve, why are we talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
Sure. Let me tell you a story. Okay, it's a very sad story, very angering story. So it comes from a good place. Like I was playing this Call of Duty, thinking this is really good, and I didn't want to spoil playing the last mission just yet. I wanted to do the right thing, so I did eventually stop playing that mission after about 15 minutes.
Could have been the end of the game then.
Yeah, so I won't do him dirty. I've got that Call of Duty itch, and what did I really like? I really enjoyed Modern Warfare a few years ago. So I'll reinstall Modern Warfare on my console. And the reason it got yeeted off there in the first place, excuse me for using a 11/7-year-old term there, and yeet, but it obviously takes up a lot of space. Like
hard drive space. Yeah.
It was like 200 gig with multiplayer and campaign installed alone. So
yep.
I'll just install the campaign, Troy. How easy out of 10 do you think installing a campaign on Modern Warfare would be? In the past, how easy do you think?
They have struggled to give us above about a 3, I reckon, in 5 years. They are hands down the worst user experience for installing a game.
Troy, and that's where my story begins. I thought you could just chuck in, install Call of Duty. So I installed Call of Duty, right, Troy? Not only am I disappointed by the fact that you don't get a little tile that says Modern Warfare, it just literally looks like Warzone Pacific Mark II, and you click into it, and then you've got all the Call of Duties there anyway.
Vanguard looks the same, man. I'm disappointed with Vanguard for the exact same reason, but continue.
Yeah, so then you scroll all the way right to Modern Warfare. It says campaign. It says download data packs, Troy.
Yes.
So I download said data packs. Apparently, there's different ones in the actual game as opposed to if you go through the install process.
Yeah. It's a good trick, that, isn't it?
Yeah, so you don't apparently need these old ones, yet you install them anyway. So then you install the ones that they want you to install on the actual game. So you click that, you go, yep, I've got the new versions of these data packs.
Yes.
And then I'm like, my console's installed. I've installed an extra 12 gig. I've installed the campaign pack. I've installed the Spec Ops campaign pack, which apparently you need as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you scroll across to the play campaign. Data pack missing. I'm like, there's no data pack missing, Troy. I've downloaded all data packs. But no, Troy. After maybe, I don't know, almost throwing my controller against the wall 400 times and being like, there's got to be a way to do this. This is like the real life version of Dark Souls. This is now the boss in my life. I have to defeat this thing. I have to get this working. So I'm looking up through things, looking through Reddit, finding some things, and I'm like, I clicked on like a thing inside the game that it said it was like, not even campaign pack. It was like multiplayer pack 2 or something.
Yeah.
Clicked on that in game, which does like makes a noise, and then you go back into the store install, which then has some other data pack 3 available. It doesn't say campaign, but it's a data pack. That's another 13 gig, Troy.
Yep. It all checks out, Steve. Yep.
Yeah. Install that, and finally, Troy, the game works. And when I say works, Troy, I mean that loosely because I put the game in, and I don't know what they've done. It's like they've gone, we don't want you to play this game anymore because we're going to make it run like shit. So I'm expecting a nice flawless. Apparently, it's supposed to run at 120 frames per second. But it doesn't.
No,
or it might be, but it's got the worst frame pacing issues I've ever seen. Like every 10 steps, the thing just completely comes to a halt and then keeps going again.
Oh, that's nasty.
You can't fix it. I've got my TV does VAR and all that kind of stuff. Like
yes.
You think activating all of that would get rid of any kind of frame stutters, frame rate issues at all.
Not the case.
Not the case, Troy. This game used to run well on an Xbox One X. I believe it used to run well on an Xbox One. So I don't know what they've done there and why they make it so hard me to play this game, and even when I do get the game working, it runs like a piece of shit.
It's the Modern Warfare, or the Call of Duty installs, mate, for years have been nothing but trouble. I don't know. I'm not sure what their plan is for long-term longevity of this game, but you're right. If you're trying to play Call of Duty, even I would argue beyond 9 months after release, you have the exact problem you've detailed: 600 packs with unknown dependencies, and you're never sure what you need. It's clean for about the first 6 months, and after that, forget about it. I agree, mate.
I reckon I went like 6 different steps each time, thinking, I've done what I need to do to get the campaign working.
Yeah.
I didn't even want multiplayer. I just wanted to play the campaign. And then to get through all these hoops to finally beat that Dark Souls real-life boss, I finally did it. And then to have it run like, crap was just so disappointing, because I'm like, I've gone through all this, at least let the game run well for me, and it didn't.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like from a game preservation standpoint, it's like, how is anyone going to play these campaigns, in 10 years? The last 10 Call of Duties, they're going to be almost unplayable because there are so many dependencies for servers that just won't be there down the road. It's crazy.
Yeah. And what's worse, I don't know where it must be hidden somewhere in the back coding or something. I bought this game digitally when it came out, pre-ordered and everything, did the install, and then for some reason that version of the game I couldn't actually install for free. So
How odd.
It never said I'd actually purchased this game before, so I had to repurchase the game droid.
Whoa, that's an offence. I'm wounded by that one. That's crazy.
So that's an obtained property by deception there. I reckon that's punishable by at least 10 years imprisonment.
We are the gaming enforcement agency, Steve. I think maybe we need to start exploring our powers.
Well, yeah, mate, I'm coming after Activision and Blizzard, and that means you, Microsoft. I'm coming after you.
I love it. Someone with a remaster that you won't have to come after, Steve. Uncharted, the collection came out on Friday, mate. We did the install on the channel. We fired it back up. I did the save game import. I pumped, 12 trophies or something. It was a very rewarding experience for me on this end. How did you go with it, mate?
Oh, mate, talk about smooth. This is how it should be done. The game installs. Doesn't matter what you've got. Lost Legacy, save data, Uncharted 4, save data. It all saved perfectly. You go into it, say install PS4, save data. It'll work a treat, Troy. It's fine. Perfect.
It was absolutely flawless. We got in there. Now, as some people may know, I've never actually played the Lost Legacy collection. I've put in today about an hour into it, and I've got to say, as soon as we're off air tonight, Steve, I am back into the Uncharted Lost Legacy collection. It's such a special game. And Steve, you did all the heavy lifting this week on the standoff for the best moments in Uncharted. But I've got to say, going through that list of best set pieces and starting as, to my experience, a brand new Uncharted game, I'm in gamer's heaven right now, mate. I couldn't be any more stoked. I've got a big adventure right ahead of me that I'm keen to get involved in, mate. So I'm smiling from ear to ear with the release of this. And I got to say, I did fire up Uncharted 4 and had a look at it. What's the subtitle of number 4? A Thief's End?
Uncharted 4, Thief's End, that's the one.
I had a bit of a look at the Thief's End, mate, and could not be more impressed with what they've done on the PS5 side. What's the big marooned level with the big rain effects and the plane shipwreck right at the start? It's an absolute visual treat. Did you dive in, Steve? What were your impressions?
My impressions so far are phenomenal. The only thing I'm missing is probably a 4K 60 mode, because I know the
mode
does run at 2K, and I'm pretty much playing the game in 120 hertz mode though, so I'm playing at 120 frames per second.
That's 120, but that's 1080p. Yeah, that's like HD visuals. 1080p. But how good does it look? Because I've never seen a 120 picture, man, but I imagine it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does. Like you don't really lose much in resolution when you're running at 120 frames. Like the 1080, you wouldn't even know it was 1080. Like it's some scenes maybe if you flick back between the two you can notice it, but it's not worth losing that 120 frame per second because it's just so smooth. And
I bet
elevates the gunplay and everything. I'm just like, because I got to import my save and trophies from Uncharted 4, which I never got the platinum for, which I'm attempting to do now. I'll go through that in a second.
Wait, hold on. We have to talk about that at some point. Keep going.
We do, but it's good because I've got all the gameplay modifiers, and because I played this game probably 3 times before, playing with some gameplay different sort of things that I've got. So I'll play with it's like a bullet time mode. So every time you aim, it goes into slow-mo. So it's kind of like playing Max Payne.
Sorry, is that available to everyone via the accessibility menu, or is this like a skull? You had to get a collectible in-game and then unlock it via a menu or something?
I can't remember. I did unlock all of it. I think once you finish the game, and I think you do unlock different things. I think once you finish the game, you can spend points that you've earned by playing the game on different modifiers. And essentially, the only ones worth buying are probably the slow-mo bullet time and unlimited ammo, because I was like, flip the world.
They're awesome.
Different art styles, different skins, so you can play with your favorite skin for Nathan Drake throughout the whole level if you want, which I've been doing. So I was trying to do it without that stuff, but you can pick any weapon you want that you've unlocked as well. So I've been playing the game with always like a pistol in Uncharted, but then I've got all the awesome SMGs and auto rifles and all that kind of stuff. So
nice.
I flicked through those to unlock the certain trophies. Like I was doing a trophy today where it was like you had to kill, and then you had to do a stealth attack, a melee attack, a headshot, and then a kill with an explosive all within 15 seconds.
Do you happen to remember the name of it?
I can't remember the name of the trophy. It's something like Russian. There's one that's maybe like Russian roulette or play the roulette or something like that. But
okay.
Or not, because I know there's another one where you've got to kill 10 enemies in a row. I think it was called
with headshots.
No, this one you've got to do a melee, and you've got to 10 enemies in a row, melee, gun, melee, gun, melee, gun. It's called
okay.
So
right. Okay.
That was not too hard to do, but if you've got the difficulty ramped down, because it doesn't matter what difficulty you play this on to unlock trophies and stuff. But it's been good fun for the playing through. This is my playthrough to unlock all those sorts of trophies, and then I'm going to have to try and go for finish the game in under, I think, 6.5 hours for a trophy.
This is all just for 4, not Lost Legacy. That's right, isn't it?
This is for 4,
Yep.
So I Lost Legacy. I'm going to look at my trophies that are a bit lower with that. I'm pretty sure looking at my save file, I was halfway through a crushing playthrough to finish it on crushing.
Hardcore.
I stopped playing it last time. So I have unlocked all the sort of modifiers and stuff, and using all the modifiers and unlimited ammo and stuff doesn't actually take away from your trophy, so you can chuck it on,
so you can do bullet time and still unlock trophies. That's amazing.
So once you finish the game, like with Uncharted 4, for my crushing one, I had the slow-mo with unlimited ammo and a gun that does pretty much, it kills them in one shot like the Magnum, so you can run through the game.
Steve, tell me, where's the write-up? Where's the guide? How can I do that? That sounds amazing. I didn't know you could do any of that.
Yeah, mate. So I think once you finish the game, you'll unlock the bonuses, and once you've got those bonuses, if you've done it, just playing the game, you'll have enough points to unlock all this stuff if you like, and then you'll have all these guns you can unlock, all these abilities. It's really fun.
Come on, Steve, give me some screenshots, give me something. You've got to give me a guide, because that all sounds amazing, and I had no idea any of that was available. And I do want to get back into it, and that sounds perfect, man. You've got to give me some of those secrets. What I'll quickly say is this footage you've been watching was from me playing the start of Lost Legacy this morning. I've got to say, these rain effects are phenomenal on this console. The puddles, but also the way the puddles interact with rain on and off is phenomenal. The use of the neon signs to guide you through all this roof section was just phenomenal. Those lighting effects leading you through light trails and everything. These games are masterclasses in game design and just letting you know as a player where you should be going without constant HUD elements. Naughty Dog are such masters of game design. I'm loving being back in this world. Honestly, I'd forgotten how good they were at game design until I started playing this again.
It's so true. Just obviously watching your gameplay here, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen people jump to their death like that before.
No, just like the fight scene where you just first start fighting these guys and the animations and the way you sort of they just work together. Like there was one where I ran in and did a sweep kick, and then Nadine finishes him off, and it's just
yes, it's so beautifully done.
And I want to pinpoint something else that I noticed playing Uncharted 4, just the attention to detail as well. Is like you're driving around the car in Madagascar, and he literally changes the gears when he's driving the car. If you hit the horn, he actually hits the horn. He looks over his shoulder when he's reversing. It's ridiculous the amount of detail they've gone to when he's just driving a car around Madagascar.
It's so great, isn't it, mate? And in 4K, although did you just say you're playing at 120, 1080? I don't know if you'd notice as much, but I'm certainly noticing exactly to your point, man, the minor interactions, the little character animations that I swear I'd never seen in Uncharted before. Looking at them now on a 4K monitor, this game is so good, and there's so many details I've never even seen before. I can't wait. Future gaming this generation, the amount of detail, like the Matrix trailer for the Unreal Engine 5, seeing this, it's just wetting my whistle. I can't wait for the first native PlayStation 5 Naughty Dog game. Give me the first Naughty Dog. Woo!
Like you play this, even this is an evolution over Uncharted 4, just Lost Legacy. Like some of the way it looks, especially the lighting and stuff they've got in the animations. You'll even Uncharted 4, but this as well. Like they actually kind of have injury animation. So if you do a sort of a higher jump and land down, they do actually limp for a little bit before they start running normally again.
Yes,
and it's just the attention to detail in that is just absolutely ridiculous. So.
It's just phenomenal. And for anybody out there who missed the install video, I was able to pick it up for $15. And Steve, I know I've been hammering you on the SMS, mate, but I want a full recount of what's happened because you pre-ordered the Lost... Wait. Set the stage properly first. Last generation PS4, you owned both Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy Collection, as I did digitally, and then you pre-ordered for $79.95, I believe, Australian, the Uncharted Lost Legacy Collection, which just came out on Friday. I hadn't pre-ordered. I checked on Thursday night, and for me, $79.95. Woke up the next morning, checked again, and it was down to $15. Picked it up for $15 because my purchases had been acknowledged. But Steve, you'd pre-ordered, they'd taken the full amount off the credit card. What's happened?
Yeah, I was just stuck with that.
No!
I know. That's okay. It's worth it, Troy. It's Uncharted.
I know, it's Uncharted. It's awesome. But still, they can't be stealing money off you, mate. They can't be just taking that money. That's outrageous in my opinion. They've got to come through. They've got to come through. What I want to hear from you either next week or the week after is that you were checking the PlayStation Store and you randomly noticed you had, $54 credited to your account or something. That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. I'll keep you posted on that one.
Keep an eye out. Now, that was pretty much all my thoughts, mate. Did you have more? Go.
Yeah, I was going to say just the haptic feedback they've actually implemented in Uncharted as well with the guns and stuff.
Now,
have you seen that yet?
I had it down as an item on my notes that I wanted to check for. And once I looked down and remembered, that's right, I need to check out the vibration. Once I had thought to do it, I'm like, it's there. But I'll say, man, it was no Krieg 6 moment. It's there if you look for it, but nothing grabbed me.
Wait till you start using more guns. I think with Uncharted 4, you just notice it when you start using some more powerful guns and stuff.
That is a fair call because even in the first hour of the Lost Legacy as well, mate, I've fired bugger all guns. So it's a valid point, mate. Maybe when I get deeper into the gunplay, I'll feel it. But as to an hour in, I'm yet to notice it other than deliberately looking for it and acknowledging that it was rumbling. Nothing has independently taken my eyes. I'll tell you what has independently taken my eyes. The tension is high for Elden Ring. I can't wait. And I've been playing some more Demon's Souls. And when I say some more Demon's Souls, Steve, hours and hours and hours I've put into this. Really? I absolutely love it. Do you know I never, you know me, I don't like to look things up. I like to bumble my way through things. And recently, in the last week, between the last episode of G.E.A. and this one, I found out that hanging on the walls in the prison are the keys. And once you work out that the keys are just hanging there, you can open up the whole level, mate. It's amazing.
This level, I reckon right towards the end of it, I think, and then maybe died or fought. I can't even remember. But
there's let me try and guess what got you because I'm yet to pass it. So yes, it's a labyrinth in several layers of H building shapes next to each other and on top of each other. That's the maze. But when you get to the end, I haven't defeated yet, but before the boss, I'm assuming, before the big doors, there's an invisible someone with a little crossbow that I can't kill. So I can't get to the boss yet, but the invisible crossbow person is on the stairs, I'm assuming leading up to the big boss battle, because I've been through the whole level. I know it backwards. I've killed everything except the invisible crossbow person stopped me from getting that boss.
Troy, I do remember this. I have defeated the boss. There is a spot where you come into a big opening, and there's like an NPC character, I think, that's using magic to stop the boss from. Like, I fought the boss multiple times this level without actually I beat it, but then they came back alive. Because if you don't kill a certain character, they just keep this person the boss alive.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I've already done exactly. Well, I'm piecing together from what you've just said because. Going into a bit where there's an NPC, there's just a message from another player, was just the word liar. And then I got in there and he says something like, I don't do anything or I cause no harm or something. He said, he deliberately said he doesn't do anything. And then he's got the key bloody behind him for old mate. And so I added 2 and 2. the word on the floor that he's a liar and then him saying he didn't do anything, I turned his lights off for him right then.
Very good, very good. So you're not going to, like, the boss itself is easy. I defended this boss multiple times before killing that guy. So
well,
and then when I realized I had to kill him, I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, I don't even know what the boss looks like yet. I don't know what type of creature it is. I just know that there's an invisible crossbow person just at the doorway there, who I'm assuming the end boss, that I haven't been able to kill.
You're still rocking your magic class, so you got your...
I'm still rocking. Yeah. I've got the, what do you call it, the flame throw, the little whoop jobby. That thing's doing 127 damage for me a pop. I'm loving it. It's silly. Such a good game, but it's all in the lead up for Elden Ring. What's that, man?
Oh, mate. I said you can have no issues with this boss then if you're still rocking that.
Oh, if I can get past the invisible crossbowman, I will. But I got to say, that game is still, I would argue, the high watermark, Steve, for the PlayStation 5. In Returnal, name me a game that looks and runs better than one of those two on the PlayStation 5.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to... I've been tempted to go back because I haven't seen this game on my new TV yet, but it was counted as the best PS5 game, so...
It is hands down. It is hands down the best looking PS5 game. This and Returnal, man, I honestly can't split the two, but you know me, man, I play a lot and I jump around a lot and I go back and visit a lot of games again. Going back and visiting this, I'm realizing how much I missed the first time around, probably because the console was so new and I was so impressed by the controller. I missed how good the gosh darn game was, if you can believe it.
Oh, man, I just can't believe we're about to get Elden Ring in less than a month.
I am pumped.
This kind of dungeon stuff plus a massive Breath of the Wild style open world, mate.
Oh, that and they're talking about letting us summon each other a bit easier too, which I'm excited about. But let's not get to the news yet. I have no more to say than Steve.
I do want to say something pretty funny that's got related to Elden Ring, but also Horizon. Yeah. Before I forget about it, what I find funny is, right, Horizon, the first one came out maybe 2 weeks before Breath of the Wild.
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
And now Forbidden West's coming out a week / 2 weeks before Elden Ring.
I love it. Same course of action, you reckon, man?
I think potentially I'll be playing for Forbidden West, I reckon, for a couple of weeks, and I think I'm going to be solely straight into Elden Ring straight after it. And then once I finish that, I might go back into Horizon, but I think the exact same history is about to repeat itself.
I have no idea how I'm even going to put down Demon Souls to get into Elden Ring. That's a bit of a stretch. Of course, I'll be able to, but I've been having so much fun going back and revisiting that game. If you've only gotten hold of a PlayStation 5 maybe for this Christmas just gone and you haven't decided to go back, I'm telling you, this game's an absolute treat. Go back and play it. If you missed it, you're missing out. Get onto it. But now, Steve, Game 5, tell us things. It's all you, buddy. Go.
Mate, Necromunda Hired Gun. I got this game back when it launched. I think it was mid to early last year, just as a fun sort of shooter.
Native PlayStation or Xbox? Where are we?
On Xbox. I think it's on all consoles though and PC.
Cool.
So I just purchased back in the day. I'm pretty sure it was a $70-ish odd dollar game back in the day. But then the initial thing with it is it was a 60 frame per second game, but it had really bad frame pacing issues and stuff as well. Just like I spoke about Call of Duty earlier, it was sort of made it almost borderline unplayable.
Yep.
They've since patched the game and it runs absolutely flawlessly now. And it had a patch recently, which is sort of, I don't even know what the patch did, but it just said game updating. I'm like, I might try out this game again because I'm towards the end of it.
Yeah.
And today I finished it, but I was just playing this game and I'm like, this is a really fun sort of game. If you want something that's like a mixture of Doom, Halo, and probably just Doom and Halo, probably really if you want to put, and maybe Destiny as well in terms of its loot. Meld those all together, and that's essentially what this game is. It's really violent, which is like Doom. You've got a grappling hook, which is very satisfying to use, just like Halo.
Yeah, okay.
Which is another reason to play it. If you do like the sort of mechanic in Halo, this thing is pretty much an unlimited grappling hook that you can zip around the battlefield with as well. You smashing these, random enemies and stuff. They're probably not quite as fun to fight as your Covenant stuff, not quite as smart. They just sort of run around and shoot you and zip about the battlefield. But it's a very pretty game. The game runs flawlessly at 60, and I feel like it's even running even higher than that.
Nice.
Today, it feels like 120, even though it's running at 60. It's just that smooth now. And
nice.
Just for a game that's sort of a budgety type title, like it's one of the best looking games, I think, in terms of the way it runs and just its aesthetics as well, that I've played for a while. And just the loot system's really cool. Like you get good guns and weapons, and your characters got all these unlocks for it as well for special abilities. And like this is a little bit of a sleeper hit, I reckon. I think it came out sort of to mediocre reviews initially, maybe because it didn't run so well on consoles and everything. But it's a fun little game, Troy. If you can pick this up cheap, I reckon you'd have a lot of fun with it.
It's sounding very much like a Game Pass wait and see. You said it was on Xbox. Is it a multiplayer at all, mate, or just single player?
No, just single player campaign. So, and it's a decent length campaign at that as well. Like, it's taken me quite a while to get through this, and they've got a lot of. It's mostly all sort of indoor, like sort of levels and stuff like that. But they're big, massive levels, and you've got to explore, and you can find hidden chests with different weapons. There's a story about you're a bounty hunter, so you're going out sort of hunting all these sort of boss characters and stuff like that. But yeah, Troy, like if you can get this on Game Pass, mate, I wouldn't pass this up. If you're a Doom fan, Halo fan, or even Destiny, put those three together, mate. That's what you got here, and it was a hell of a blast of time to play. And as I said, I just finished it today, so I thought it was just worth mentioning.
Yeah, nice one, man. It looks good. We'll keep our eyes out for it. And of course, yes, if it hits Game Pass, man, I'll be all about it. All right, guys, that brings us through now to the news segment. I have a button here somewhere, I hope. Oh, so close. So close. In fact, nowhere near it. But leading off the news tonight, believe it or not, it's Elden Ring. We're still talking about it. The director on the game's difficulty, more players will finish it. Well, all right then.
So they will. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I mean, but I think what I like about Elden Ring, what it's doing, it seems like if you're up to a boss, that you can't fight. You've got means to go out to that open world and sort of grind your character away and upgrade that character to get into a level where you can fight the boss.
Yes.
Which I really like. Because a lot of times these games, you sort of hit a boss that's that hard level, like you got to get good, or you're not beating that boss, or you try and summon someone into your game. Which is another point we're going to make, which is that apparently summoning people into your game potentially could make this game a co-op experience as well, which I'm really excited about.
I assume, and I don't know, I haven't read this, but I assume they're still going to have those limitations on multiplayer. Like, you can summon them in, but then they can only get to the next boss, and as soon as that boss is defeated, they're automatically removed from your world, that sort of stuff. Do you know if they said anything? Have they elaborated? Are they still going with that mechanic?
There's been some talk of developers, and I can't remember where I heard it, but there's some pretty decent discussion around it being that it could be the first co-op like game by this developer where we could actually be playing this game as a co-op game, like from start to finish if you want, and you could have a player there with you the whole time if you really want to.
That could be very cool, man. I could really get into that.
If that's the case, we're playing together and we're summoning someone from Korea or Japan just to absolutely wreck bosses we can't beat. Because let's face it, every time I've had a boss that I can't beat in Bloodborne, it's usually one of our Asian friends that decides to absolutely wreck these guys for us. So I can't wait.
It's beautiful. And what I love, man, it's like if you can get like a good 10 a.m. session in, that's when they're online and that's when they'll help you out. If you really need help in a Bloodborne, Dark Souls type game, jump on at 11 a.m. Australian time. You'll get the Asian friends jumping on who can just destroy any boss. It's beautiful.
They can, mate. We can't communicate with them, verbally, but we can communicate them within in game, and
exactly
that's the best way to do it.
Throw them the bow when they kill it for you. Move on with your day.
Jug him a bow, give him a clap, just see you later, you're a legend.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have finished Bloodborne without the help.
I don't think I would have finished any of them without help. And check out this artwork, just while we're sitting here. Look at this Elden Ring boss thing. This is just monstrous. I absolutely love it. I can't wait. All right, story number 2. This one is from Oz Gamers, and it's new footage of the cancelled Star Wars 1313 game. I gotta love it, Steve. I rolled it earlier today and watched it. I'll roll it again here now. And I'll just quickly point out before I hand it over to you, mate, if everyone just at home watches and looks for the moment where they start dropping out of the fully rendered bit and it's just then in engine with like cube geometries and stuff without any textures, but you see them running across the stuff. You see the building blocks of video games at the end of this, which is what I love, and keep your eye out for it. But over to you, Steve. Star Wars 1313 footage. Oh, I've lost Steve.
Okay, yeah, I checked this footage. There he is. I was actually quite impressed. It's going back a bit. There, you got me? You got me?
All good, man.
All good, all good. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I was watching this footage and it was like you could tell this was being developed like around the time of maybe Uncharted 2 or 3.
Yes.
It's very, very similar, and I would have loved to play a Star Wars game. Sort of, I think the initial footage we saw wasn't actually Boba Fett that was meant to feature in this game. They had another character, and there was something I did watch the little doco series thing on this footage, and it was supposed to. They've switched it to Boba Fett at one point during development just because they wanted an established character within this world. So I was like, this game would have been really cool, and like obviously it would have just been Uncharted in space essentially, but like just looking at this footage, you can just see sort of it doesn't even look that old now. Like if they could sort of like you look at all the stuff flying in the background and the scenery, even though you sort of got not much happening in the foreground, like in that background, like this game probably would have been incredible to play. And I know a lot of this stuff probably ended up turning into what do we have? Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, yeah, there would have been some there.
Leaned heavily on some of this stuff, but this probably would have been a more sort of shooty as opposed to swordy. Kind of action. But, mate, look at this footage. I'm sad we never got this. Look, it looked like it was pretty well into development before it must have got canned.
Yeah, it does look cool. I love all this sort of stuff. Anything half-built, I love all of it. It's lights me up. But what I will note is I didn't see anything in there that was particularly cool, as you alluded to, mate. A lot of Uncharted, Naughty Dog stuff. I thought there was the very much. Now, was it Joel was the first one to do the wet hand thing, Steve, where he puts his hand on wet concrete and then looks at it like, ugh. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Joel was the first character to do that, and there's a little hint of that in this and that meat section. But so there's little touches, but I didn't see anything in here that was really unique gameplay. It's not like the first time we ever saw someone, struggle with a grappling hook or something. So I don't feel like I've missed anything, but yeah, it did look cool and it would have been awesome. I definitely would have played it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's the classic Sony sort of third-person action. Essentially, that we get that they're sort of known for now. So it just looks like it does most of that stuff, and obviously we'll never know. It was never got there.
Swing and a miss, unfortunately, but someone's taking a swing. Hopefully they don't miss. Crysis 4 is coming back. Crytek have confirmed it. They're saying that it's early in development and a ways off. So I take it from that they're aiming for Christmas next year, but they're not confident they're going to hit it.
Maximum 2025 joy. I guess it's a fair bit off somehow, but just knowing they're working on it, I think Crysis obviously it's known for melting CPUs and and not looking great on consoles. So I'd be interested to see what they do with this new iteration.
They do, but Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, man. Didn't they crank out Crysis 3 in a really tight turnaround? Wasn't it Crysis 2? And then I want to say it was like 2 years later that they did Crysis 3. I
don't think it was that long. I reckon because I think they ran on the same engine by that time as well.
This is my point, man. We don't know what engine they've committed to yet. We don't know a lot. So, but my point is they've got a history of turning games around quick. So if it's just a big tech showcase demo, which dare I suggest, sometimes Crytek don't do the most in-depth stories. It's possible they could crank this one out quite quick and we could get it. I reckon Chrissy next year. Crysis 4, Christmas 24, I say.
There you go. And I just did some fact check, mate. We had Crysis 2 in 2011 and Crysis 3 was 2013. So, yeah, very tight turnaround.
There you have it. So, Crysis have got it in them. I wouldn't be surprised. 2 years, I reckon.
Yeah, and I will definitely play it because I'm all for first-person sci-fi shooters. And now I think Crysis. Recently, obviously, if you go back to G.E.A, probably mid-late-ish last year, I did redo Crysis 2 and Crysis 3 Remastered, which I really enjoyed. So
yes, they are good. And you said they held up at the time. They were still quality, which is good to hear.
They did. It's still quality and very fun to play. I imagine the next one will be exactly the same.
I would love to get, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I'm relatively confident it was Crysis 3 had the hunting, what was that, what are they called, compact bow or whatever? Was it New York? You had the bow in New York, I think?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I would love to get back. I would love to get back there and check that out.
That's one of the best bows in any game ever. Like if we did a standoff, it's just going to win. So there's no point doing a standoff because it wins.
We'll do it next week, and all entries will just be the bow. All right, moving along, some more Uncharted news. The Uncharted devs seem to want to make another sequel. It's a world we want to see more of. No, not stockholders. Creative developers say, apparently.
Oh, mate, this makes me happy. The fact that there's just sort of a bit of word here and there about a new Uncharted potentially, being talked about. I think they'd be mad not to make another one.
I believe you only have to go back
to make it.
You only have to go back 2 weeks on this very show to hear us suggesting they should get onto it, Steve.
Oh, they really have to. If they can sort of meld the Last of Us stealth sort of action combat with an Uncharted game, and sort of maybe sort of utilize some of the stuff from Last of Us with some of the weapon upgrades and stuff, and give it a little bit of that playability stuff. I know Uncharted's always been more actiony and stuff, but if they can sort of blend those two together, I think you could really get something special with a new kind of Uncharted coming out. And obviously, I trust everything Naughty Dog does, and I just want to see something native that they've made for PlayStation 5. And to be honest, I would rather see a Uncharted 5 than a Last of Us Part 3.
I agree completely, mate. 100% agree with you on that point. Yep.
Especially if they can nail that sort of stealth action gameplay. And I think you haven't seen it yet in Lost Legacy, which is one of the most biggest travesties I think Uncharted 4 has. And I kind of wish they did it in the latest version of the game. But the Lost Legacy introduces a silenced pistol for stealth gameplay.
Nice.
Which is just brilliant. And I think the Uncharted 4 gameplay could have lent itself really well to a silenced pistol as well.
Yep.
And I was hoping you could kind of maybe unlock the silenced pistol for Uncharted 4. It doesn't seem to be the case because I do have all weapons unlocked, and that's not one I can select.
It's just dawned on me, Steve. We totally forgot to go into the whole trophy thing of the Lost Legacy. There's no platinum for the Lost Legacy, and to get the platinum for Uncharted 4, you've got to complete the Lost Legacy. What's going on?
Is that so?
That's so. 1 platinum for both games, and the platinum for 4 is contingent upon you finishing Lost Legacy. It's crazy. How is there not 2 platinums and 2 independent lists? It's insanity.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that's a lot of gaming I'm going to have to do to get that platinum in.
The ball has dropped. I want to say there was 124 trophies you need to get in 2 games to get 1 platinum.
Wow, that's a decent. Well, I mean, obviously the payoff's going to be great if you can land that platinum. It means you've done a lot of work to get it.
That's going to be a low percentage completion platinum. I'd suggest it won't be above 1% within 12 months.
Troy, should I go for it?
Yes, absolutely you should. I think with a 120 hertz monitor, Steve, you might be contractually obliged.
Yeah, I think I do. I think there's a few tough ones. I'm trying to think of the hardest one that I saw there. There's one you've got to finish the game Uncharted 4 with, I think, 70% accuracy. But that could be alleviated, I think, in trying to finish the game within 6 hours with the.
Well, you've got the slow-mo bullet time. Yes.
Yeah. Unlimited ammo and stuff. So I reckon if I did it on easy with that, I reckon I could probably notch out the 6-hour game time plus the 70% in one playthrough. So
that sounds like a good aim, Steve. But I got to ask, man, do you know if when you're in bullet time, does the counter slow down, or does the 6-hour clock run at the standard speed whether you're in bullet time or not? Because that might, in fact, burn you.
You do say that, but I reckon I've sort of fact-checked that in the fact that I had to do those other kill ones within the 15 seconds. And
yes.
It didn't seem
yes. Great call, man. Great call. Good work. Yep.
So looking at that, and I reckon I was probably over 15 seconds if you're counting that slow-mo time. So I feel like it doesn't take effect. So
nice.
I'll just be jumping through. I don't know if, cutscenes and stuff affect that at all, but I'll definitely just be skipping all cutscenes on my playthrough to get through that 6 hours. So
fair enough, man.
I'll get it at some point, but unfortunately, 2022 is the year of tons of games. So
oh my goodness! And Elden Ring, that's going to suck up a good 500 hours for me, I predict.
Yep.
But once again, Uncharted, people, get onto it. It's fantastic. All right, here we go. Next up, where are we? 3 new Star Wars games coming from EA, including a first-person shooter. And this is on GameSpot. Steve, you know things. Please share them with us.
Mate, the one thing I know is I probably should have linked this Star Wars news articles together. That would have been a better segue. But
now
that we're here,
can't win them all.
Looks like Respawn Entertainment's been gifted more Star Wars, so they're obviously the ones that gave us Jedi Fallen Order, and that was a great game. It's Dark
fantastic
Star Wars game. And there's rumours we're getting the sequel to that potentially later this year.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Central. So Jeffy Grub's got on there and said that we're probably going to get that this year, which I could see that happening. They've been very quiet on it, so I could see that being announced at E3, coming out October, November.
Do we think day one Game Pass through EA Play Access, whatever that little program's called?
EA's not the best for giving us the free stuff day one, but
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see it with that, unfortunately. I mean,
I guess the big question is, does Sony have an exclusive first party heavy hitter coming out around the same time that Microsoft would love to just purchase this exclusive, day one, day and date Game Pass launch, just to quieten the news about whatever PlayStation's doing at the time, maybe?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they do, but what does Sony have later this year? Like, they've got a God of War, maybe.
Oh yeah, God of. Oh, do we really think it's going to come out this year?
That's what I mean. If it hits.
Yeah, if it hits, maybe. That's probably exactly what Phil Spencer said. We'll give you a massive check to get it in Game Pass day one if Sony can hit with God of War.
If Sony can hit. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, the other Star Wars games, I believe they've got a first-person shooter that's apparently in development as well, a long time away, and which I think I did read something about who was heading up. I think it was the Medal of Honor developers who did the most recent Medal of Honor, working on that one, and there was a strategy game where I believe it was one of the heads from the old XCOM game.
That's right. Yep.
That one. So, so I mean, they've got good people on it. I mean, I actually quite like the Medal of Honor games as well.
The recent what was what was the most recent ones where they went like real gritty war? I want to say it was like around the time of what was that other game?
What's Medal of Honor Airborne?
But then the one after that, they had it was like the photo of the SAS guy on the cover, like a proper photo of a real bloke. What was that?
Is it like Medal of Honor Frontlines, maybe?
Frontlines doesn't sound right either. Maybe it was just called Medal of Honor, actually. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was just called Medal of Honor.
I think you're right. I think it might have just been the old soft reboot situation.
But that was enjoyable. From memory, it was short but enjoyable.
Yeah, and from memory, like all Medal of Honors have always looked good as well. Like they've always been very good-looking games, and they come out. And obviously, Respawn's got a very good graphics engine as well. They obviously do Titanfall and all that stuff. So they're very versed when it comes to first-person shooters and the way a first-person shooter should feel as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've never gotten to Titanfall myself. You probably haven't either, but I know the mechanics are good because I played.
Titanfall. I've probably put a good 50 hours into Titanfall's multiplayer, combined 1 and 2. I really got into Titanfall's multiplayer. That's really enjoyable. Imagine getting AT-ATs airdropped to you when you wanted them Titanfall style. That'd be pretty epic. I'd love that.
Oh, that'd be nice. Sorry, the one I was thinking of. So Apex Legends is probably the one you haven't played.
Oh, I have played a bit of Apex Legends as well, but you're right, not a whole lot. But I did enjoy it. It was, what happened? Fortnite lifted something out of it, and then I went back into Fortnite. Might have been the slide step or something. I can't remember. No, it was the marking. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. Let's play ourselves back in. The next news story. Halo TV series release date and official trailer revealed. I got to say, there was a bit of a hubbub on the Discord server this morning on Geek Aloud has a Discord server, if you didn't know that, Steve. There was talk about this very thing as the trailer dropped this morning. Everyone's pretty excited for it. You've had a look, mate. What were your thoughts?
Oh, mate, I have. I had a look on my phone this morning, and then I thought this needs the 77-inch treatment, so I just streamed it on my TV not that long ago. And my God, Troy, this thing looks really decent. Like, they've got obviously a different voice actor for the Chief because they've got an actual actor under the suit that's playing the part. And initially, it was a little bit jarring when I'm like, oh, it's not who we're used to. But
yes, it was so jarring. I really was thrown by it.
Yeah, watching it the second time, though, I think he actually sort of nails the sort of the gravitas and the voice quite a bit. He's supposed to be a slightly younger, Spartan 117 because he's still got his crew around. By the looks, he's got his Spartan crew as well, which they sort of show in the trailer as well. So, and it's before they found the Halo ring. So, I believe you are dealing with a slightly younger John Spartan.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. It sort of alluded. Did it read to you as though they were going to be bouncing off between a bunch of people like from the academy? Was that how it read to you? Like he had a bunch of
sort of
other people that came up with him at the same time. Maybe they were going to be bouncing off those guys a bit more than the Master Chief himself.
Yeah, so I don't know, because in the books, he obviously, I'm not sure which is mentioned in the games, but in here we're going to see it. So
yeah, definitely.
Probably where you're getting that from, but I can't wait to see this version. The suit seems to look really good. I think they've spent the money where they need to, and hopefully the show can, carry it all the way through.
Yeah, it's. I'd love to see another rendering effects pass on some of those After Effects. They just look a little bit first passy. But personally, I'd like to see them a bit more polished. But that's just me. A little bit more, dust particles, that sort of thing. Give it a bit more grit. But it looks awesome, man.
It does look very clean, doesn't it?
It does. It looks a bit too clean. Do we know anything about how? That's the first time, honestly, that I even knew. What is it? Paramount Plus was a streaming service. Do they have any other shows, or is it just the Halo?
No, they're not too bad. Like, I did watch something recently on. I can't remember what it was, but we got it just for that. But we can't remember now. It's not worth the story, but I definitely have it. We did get rid of it, so I was like, just as we got rid of it, I essentially saw the news that Halo was coming out. I was like, wifey, we're going to need to get Paramount Plus.
Very good. Well, I'll let you.
Now I know the date, March 24.
Perfect, mate. I'll let you invest and report back. Maybe I'll get into it. Now, as we always do here on Gaming Enforcement Agency, we like to wrap up the news segment with the upcoming releases for this here week. Kicking it off this week, and this is, of course, from the website of Game Informer, who also do a magazine once a month, I believe. Now, Life is Strange Remastered Collection. Steve, you're the resident Life is Strange expert. Tell us things.
Well, I wouldn't say expert. I have dabbled in the Life is Strange, these versions of the game, which I think would be probably well-versed to an update, because I think they didn't used to run all that well, as good as their stories were. But I did recently play...
I thought they were walking simulators, not running simulators.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, 30 frames, keeping that walking pace. But now they can run at 60 frames. But, I did play Life is Strange True Colors last year, and that was a really, really good story. And it was probably in my top 10 games of last year.
Nice.
Just purely based on story.
And so it's the Life is Strange Remastered Collection. So is it 1 and 2, or is it just number 1 remastered?
No, I think it's the characters in these, I think, did spread over Life is Strange, not Life is Strange 2. There was like another one that had like another name to it, because Life is Strange 2 was the two brothers.
Oh, okay, right.
It was Life is Strange something else, which was the sequel to the first Life is Strange, but not Life is Strange 2, if that makes any sense at all.
It makes perfect video game non-chronological sense, mate. We're right there with you.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, it's good. I did consider, when I did see they were doing a remaster when I was into the True Colors, that maybe I'll give this a go, but I think that's going to be a wait for a sale, wait for a Game Pass, and wait till I've got nothing else to play kind of thing.
Well, fair enough. 2025, look out. You've got a game pin.
Yep. I do.
Next up, The Waylanders for PC, February 2nd. I'm not sure. Do we know anything, Steve?
Some kind of RPG for PC. So, I mean, I don't really own a PC that plays video games. So, I think it's been in development for a while. That's all I can really tell you.
Moving right along in that case, Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment, which I believe was now I was going to say 2018 game, but you need to fact check me. I want to say Crime and Punishment was a 2018 Sherlock Holmes release on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, which looks like it's coming to the Switch for the first time. Now, my hang-up with the Sherlock Holmes games has been the UI, because it's very much a point-and-click adventure, click around the environment, but it's not good. It's some of the interactable objects are so incredibly small and the UI doesn't point to them that you can be lost and go around in circles for not clicking on the left wing of the butterfly's brooch on the jacket that's hanging over the lampshade. Like, there's some insane gotchas in there. The games are good, just the UI is a bit wonky. But if the Switch has some sort of touch UI that's enabled it, I could definitely see the touch screen on the Switch fixing a lot of problems if they've got a generous hit detection box on all the objects. Some investigation required, something that I can't do. But if you investigate it out there, let me know. Did they fix it? I hope so. Steve, did you have anything for us on Sherlock Holmes Crime and Punishments?
No, I never played them. I know the recent one we sort of had codes for and
yes,
really enjoy it a whole lot was the general consensus.
Good story, hard UI was exactly where we landed on it.
Yep.
But then we have on February 4th, the day later, Dying Light 2, Stay Human. Now, a lot of people are very excited about the Dying Light franchise, Steve. Can I get your thoughts in the form of, have you pre-ordered it, and if so, which console?
Very close to doing the pre-order. There wasn't a whole lot of incentive to doing it. I know there's
no bonuses?
There is, but I don't. They're kind of just skins and like some weapons and stuff. Like, I don't know if it's worth $150 for the massive edition. I think it's $120 edition and a $99 edition. So I don't know if it's worth the pre-order. I think the reviews will probably drop tomorrow morning. Would be my bet.
Have you a long history with the franchise? Did you love Dying Light 1? From memory, you did. You're a fan?
Yeah, I love Dying Light 1, so I've been really looking forward to Dying Light 2 as well. And I think the developers have been going a long way to show, not tell what they've got. Like, they did release a trailer, I think it was a couple of days ago, which just showed the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of the game running natively. And they did a cut trailer, and they also just like an uncut thing of just someone playing the game, and it just to show that the game actually ran really well, which
that's right. On the PlayStation 4, and then there was questions as to whether they could get a game to look that good on the PlayStation 4. Am I thinking of the right story?
Yeah, kind of. And so I think in a post-Cyberpunk where they're sort of very secretive about the PlayStation 4 and sort of old versions of the games, I think the fact that these guys are showing so much of their game, and a lot of people are saying they've been showed too much, I think they're just really confident in the game they've got, and I think we actually may get a very good game out of them.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hopeful that it'll appear in Game Pass so I can do the Let's Install, but I'm not holding my breath. I think we would have heard about it by now if it was going to be.
I think we would have. I have read though there's no firearms in this game. Like, apparently you can make a shotgun because apparently...
I thought he was holding a pistol on the front cover. Is that not a pistol he's holding?
I think it's some kind of melee weapon because I think the world's progressed so far that they can no longer obviously have firearms because it's set like maybe 20 years after the first game. So
yeah, right.
You're looking at all melee bows and crossbows and all that kind of stuff, and apparently you can faction yourself a shotgun at some point. But at the moment, it looks like there's going to be no guns and stuff. But initially, I was like, I don't know. Like, I actually quite enjoyed some of the gun combat, being able to shoot zombies is quite fun. So whether it's the melee combat can hold it alone, that's my only sort of suggestion. But if the bow and arrow and stuff works fun, if it's like crisis level bow and arrow, then I think, there's still a lot of fun to be had with this. And I think if they create a nice big RPG open world, I mean, they've said the whole game, if you want to do all the content, takes you 500 hours to complete.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's plenty of content in there. So I think we're in for a treat with this one. I think it's going to quietly surprise everyone.
I'm keen to get my hands on it, mate. I'm just not sure when that'll happen. And the one that's missing from here, and I was going to put it in the news but didn't, but we'll talk about it now. Steve, did you see there's been new artwork for Cyberpunk 2077 on the PlayStation Network? A new thumbnails appeared and a new entry suggesting that maybe the stealth launch of the Cyberpunk 2077 next gen is just around the corner.
Oh, Troy, I just got goosebumps when you just said that for some reason. Like, I've still got them. I could take a photo and send them to you, but I won't. There was like a stealth drop patch on the PC as well.
Yeah.
Which is suggesting that something sort of is sort of milling under the waters there. Like, we may be getting something.
It looks very...
The next patch. Oh, I'll be excited.
It looks very much like they're arming, arming doors and cross-checking or something. I think they're about to come in a big landing any day now. I wouldn't be surprised if prior to February 4th, Dying Light 2, we've actually got a Cyberpunk on our hands. That's my feeling on the matter. It seems incredibly imminent to me.
It does seem imminent, but I would have thought if it was going to drop, before Dying Light, which is Friday, surely we would have heard something more concrete about it. Like, surely, would they want to build hype about it?
No, they don't want to build any hype. They have so much negative hype about them. The best thing they could do is stealth release it, say nothing other than, hey guys, it's out now if you want it, and then just silence. And let the game finally speak for itself. Let's assume this one gets out the door relatively glitch-free, and let's assume people finally get to actually see the awesome game that is Cyberpunk 2077 just sitting there. Yeah. I hope they stealth drop it and say bugger all about it other than available now, and then just let the game talk. Like, that's, in my mind, that would be awesome.
Let's be honest, they probably don't need to say much about it, because if that drops, like, the sort of gaming news will probably go crazy anyway. It's going to get the coverage without them having to spend a cent. So.
Yep, I reckon just keep your download fingers ready for Thursday, Friday this week. I'm calling it, guys. I reckon we're going to see it by the end of this week. Get ready to download Cyberpunk.
So my 100 gig install is going to become what? How much do you reckon?
120 gig installs. No, mate. I think 60 gig per console would be a reasonable estimate for Cyberpunk at this time. I would think.
Yeah, okay. Oh, good, yeah. Hopefully, decrease some of that file size, because currently it's sitting at 100 on my console.
I reckon by the end of this week, you'll see a Geek Aloud Let's Install for Cyberpunk PS5. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say 59 gigs, and it'll be up on Friday. That's me putting a flag in the ground. Come at me. Yes, hello.
If Cyberpunk releases the next-gen patch...
Have you bought another TV that you're going to give me?
No, but I was going to say, mate, Dying Light 2 is yours if that's if you've called it.
I'm taking you up on that offer as well, Steve. Woo! Keep your eye on the channel. We're going to have a Cyberpunk PS5 install and a Dying Light 2 Let's install thanks to Steve's wallet. Perfect. I love it. That can only mean one thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for me to hit buttons and think about...
Who will fight?
Standoff. Who will fight? All right, now let me just scroll the page here. Standoff. Best Uncharted set piece, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think, Steve? Number one, this is, of course, Uncharted 2, the train sequence. Steve, over to you, my friend. Tell me things.
It's the Uncharted episode at the moment. So the train sequence, there's a few things with the train sequence. You can pick two things when it comes to it. I think initially of the actual train sequence itself, where you get on the train and then this thing, you are playing on a train as a level and it is just going through like scenery, and which is the footage we've got. And then by the end of it, you're in the snow, you're fighting a helicopter, and then the thing crashes, and then that's where essentially the game starts, and you literally pick up the game climbing up this train, which is another one of these epic moments. I don't think a game's ever started that strongly since then. I think that's one of the strongest starts to a game I've ever had, where you're literally Drake and you're hanging sideways out of a train.
I agree completely, mate. And of note...
come back to it.
Sorry, go.
I was going to say, the way they come back to it in the game, where you've kind of almost forgotten that that's how the game started, and then you're on the train.
Yes.
Even playing the start of the trailer, I don't even think it twigged and sort of till I hit the snow that, oh my God, this is the train I'm on.
This is the train. Yes.
Yeah.
The two big shout-outs, I'll give it, mate. The Star Wars, the Jedi Fallen Order. No, what was the one last year, 2 years ago? Jedi Fallen Order?
Yep.
They did the big, not the very first thing, but real, like the second, level 1.2. You're running along on a train type system there, mate, which I loved.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that. And also I'll say the end of Hitman 3, the final level, is this train section in snow, like realized on modern hardware. Number 3, but you're right, Steve, Uncharted 2, great train sequence. Next off in the standoff is Uncharted 2, the Nepal helicopter chase / collapsing building sequence. I loved it. Oh, of note, sorry, Steve, I'll just warn you in. We've got 1 minute of each bit of the start of each of these sequences. Over to you, Steve.
Beautiful. No worries. Yeah, this is another massive Uncharted 2 moment in Nepal, where it's sort of a bit quiet. You sort of had a few sort of battles between some enemies, and then all of a sudden you find yourself this helicopter hunting you on these tops of these buildings, and it doesn't stop. Like, it's a slightly more intimate got a bombastic scene where, as you see here, he's sort of coming across and all of a sudden this helicopter hits you, and then as you move through the level, you end up fighting some bad guys, but you end up inside this building, and you're still fighting enemies as this building's collapsing. And this is on PS3, mind you, when it first came out. Like,
yes.
they are doing some crazy things here, and the fact that you're in this collapsing building and right in, you jump through the window and land into the other building. Like, I'd never seen anything like this in a game before playing Uncharted 2, which is why Uncharted 2 still remains probably my favourite game of all time. I can say, Troy, that I recently just reinstalled it playing Uncharted 4.
Very nice. It is awesome, man. And I'll throw out, like all of these, but this one really brings it home for me. It's these are the key moments from the James Bond films in game form. I love Uncharted because of it. These are all great examples of it. Steve, keep rocking, my friend. Here's number 3 for you, Uncharted 3 on the cruise ship. Steve.
Oh, so it was hard. Like, I was going through all the big moments in Uncharted, and unfortunately, Uncharted 3 has so many set-piece moments. It's really hard to pick ones. I did have to leave a few off the list. And my honourable mentions before we get to the ship were the chateau burning down. Through that while the house burns down, and then there was the horse chase with the cars and stuff towards the end of the game as well.
Yes.
Which I thought was another evolution of the chase scene. But I thought this whole thing with once you're on this ship and get on it and the battles you're having and the ocean in the background, and then when you hit a certain story point in the game where the boat starts to capsize and then you end up on the outside of this boat.
Oh, yes.
The camera comes in and the boat is literally on its side and you're jumping through this level where everything's sort of turned on its head.
Yep.
It was just absolutely incredible on a grand scale, and it was just like awe-inspiring. It's just like, and it's like it moves on to the next Uncharted 3 moment, which I had to pick out. If you want to move on, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not the next one.
It's not the next one, but we'll get there. Next up, we have number 4 is, of course, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, the train sequence. And I know nothing about this, do I? I take it this is after the first bit.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much.
Yeah, keep it in mind, Steve. Don't spoil it if you can help it.
The one thing I'll say, it's kind of like the evolution of the train sequence from Uncharted 2, but with all the new tech that Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy provide. So
nice.
And they do a few different things with it because it's kind of got its own boss fight with it. You split up at points and stuff. And obviously, Nadine's with you and stuff, but it's kind of like an homage to number 2, but it does its own thing as well. And I think it definitely stands out as this is. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it is extremely good. It's as fun as Uncharted 2. Like, the only reason you would say it's better is because it's on new tech. I think Uncharted 2 set new grounds with it, so I probably would get it over the top of this in terms of you going for an iconic level in a game. But once you play this level, you'll be able to speak more to it. But I think it was a perfect way to sort of sunset this game. It's quite towards the end, but it's a very good ending to a game.
Fantastic. I love it. And excellent work, mate. I feel you spoiled nothing. Beautiful work. I appreciate it. All right. Number 5 is Uncharted 3, the cargo airplane/desert.
Oh, Troy, we've already seen a lot of this footage in the new trailer for the new Uncharted movie because it's been recognised as one of the most iconic scenes in Uncharted. This is another one of Uncharted 3's epic. Troy, it was just weird going back through and going, how many of these scenes does one game have? Some games are still going to have one epic moment. Uncharted 3 has way too many of them.
But honestly, Steve, like every Naughty Dog does this. Every Naughty Dog game, like you could pick apart anything like The Last of Us. They all have so many so many moments straight out of movies, whether they be big, large set pieces or just really iconic moments of cinema. I love the way Naughty Dog do it. Sorry, mate, back over to you.
No, that's fine. And it's so strange to think that Uncharted 1, I was going back and trying to find a moment from Uncharted 1 that might have a set piece. They've got set pieces, but nothing is on the scale of where they go with Uncharted 2 and 3. You just really see the evolution of what they were trying to do from that first game. But this scene here is just ridiculous. Like, you come out and you get pulled out by this guy, and then all of a sudden the plane's crashing. You're at the back of the cargo ship. You're jumping from, like, cargo crate to cargo crate, still trying to shoot enemies while the plane's falling apart. Like, it's up there as one of the most iconic Uncharted moments, and the fact that it's sunset by the brilliant, I think, post part of this level, which is where you're stuck in the desert. It's just a slow like this tiny little ant walking through the desert. It's so slow. It's very hard to play on a replay of the game because it's so special the first time. And Uncharted, you prefer to be shooting stuff, and the second time you play it can be a bit slow. But the first time, the impact it has from a massive bombastic plane section to this slow desert crawl where you're trying to find water and stuff. I think it's a perfect blend of like action and then like drama.
I agree, mate. And I'll give the props. I forgot to say it earlier, man, but you mentioned it. In that Uncharted 3, the cruise scene sequence, when it gets flipped on its head and you're walking along down the on the roof, but obviously it's the fourth view once it's flipped. That moment was so iconic, and you're right. They just keep piling them on because that was Uncharted 3 as well. Anyway, okay, the final one, Uncharted 4 here, the Madagascar chase, Steve. How good was it?
Troy, there's a reason this clip is actually called the best chase scene in gaming history.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'd be very hard pressed to not put this as the best, not only Uncharted set piece, it's probably the best set piece in video gaming history.
Can I put it to you, Steve, that this is the thing that every Forza Horizon cinematic event is trying to go for, but never quite pulled off the way Naughty Dog 2 here. This is hands down, I think, the best chase sequence in any video game ever. I would challenge anyone to name a better one. I don't think there is one.
Mate, it absolutely has everything you want in a chase scene. Obviously starts, like, it's not even a chase scene, like the initial lead up to this chase scene as well is just very good game design. You walk through the level slowly at the start. Then you come out and you got enemies, and all of a sudden you jump into the car off a rooftop, and then you're into this chase scene with a tank, and then you're behind it, you're hanging off your grappling hook on a bridge.
Yep.
And just go through the water. Then you have motorbikes, you're jumping from car to car.
Yep.
You're on the back of a motorbike. Like, it's got absolutely everything. And you're water skiing behind a car in the mud while still shooting. And then one of the most epic moments when the car's upside down towards the end of it.
Yes.
You just got to look at them and just shoot. Oh, my Troy. It's not only does it have everything, it just looks insane doing it the whole way.
It does. And do you remember the first time you saw it, it didn't skip a beat. And number of objects on screen, woo! It's insane. You can see all the way, at various points, you can see all the way down the hill. In advance, there's, you've got cloth elements going off everywhere. You've got litter in the street. Signs exploding, palings coming off fences, trucks going past, bullets flying past, and it doesn't miss a beat. God damn, this is the best scene in a video game ever, I would have said. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Just the colour palette and everything about
it's phenomenal.
Just in a pour with all the pops of colour. And I was just playing this game earlier tonight, and I'm not far off this scene now, and you're actually coming into this sort of area in the previous level, sort of through Madagascar, and you can actually see, really far down, all the buildings and all the streets and stuff miles away, and the coast. You can even see the bridge where a lot of this stuff happens as well. And it's just the fact that you can see that earlier on in the game, and you sort of don't even realise what you're about to sort of experience later
I know. Oh, it's so good. The way they tease it a little, they intro it a little, you don't see it coming, then bam, it's here, and you're in for an awesome gaming experience. I can't wait. I want to end this stream, and I'm going to get into the Lost Legacy. Steve, can we declare, do we agree, it sounds like we do, that this is the winner, surely? It is. Uncharted is full of great moments, but come on.
It's unfair because a lot of the other ones came in earlier games, and what they were absolutely insane. And this is the newest iteration on Uncharted being Uncharted, but this is as good as Uncharted gets, let's face it.
And, hands down, I agree, unanimous consent. Uncharted 4, the Madagascar chase, the winner is you, but my gosh, if you're viewing this episode and are yet to play an Uncharted game, do you think maybe you're missing out and you absolutely should? That's right, you absolutely should. I agree with myself completely. Steve, do you agree with me?
There's a reason Uncharted is my favourite gaming series of all time, and this is just a small reason of that case.
Beautiful. Uncharted, a winner is you, Steve. Fantastic standoff this week, mate. I love it. Tip of the cap to you, sir. One of the best ones we've done in a while, mate. It was all you. I love it. All right, now it's time for the audience. Now, do I have a clapper or something for this? I don't think I do. I just say, Steve, audience interrogation time, mate. What's happening in that YouTube chat? Do we have things?
It was Sean Games there. He's just saying, "G'day, guys," or "Hello." And
hey, Sean Games, how you doing? Welcome.
He's excited for the new Halo TV show, aren't we all?
Yes, mate. Looking good. Let's hope they dirty it up just a little bit.
Just a bit of dirt.
Little bit of
And I think that's all we've got.
cool. I've got one, sir, from that flew in over Discord during the week. Here's just quick an A/B for you, Steve. Would you rather play DLC you know nothing about for a game you love? So you got that DLC, you don't know anything about it, but it's for a base game that you absolutely love and you've platinumed, or would you rather play for the first time a game that everybody's talking about but you've never actually seen?
Oh, do I get any more context?
No, you do not. No, you get nothing. They're your choices. DLC that you don't know anything about for a game you know you love, or a game that everybody is talking about as though they love it, but you've never seen it. Which one are you going to put your time in?
Oh, God. I'm going to play DLC for a game I know I love.
Oh, I love it. Me, I'm going for the mystery box. I'll take the one I've never played before.
I'm really confused where mine goes. I'm like DLC. All I'm thinking is right now is, if there was some Naughty Dog Uncharted DLC.
Oh, that's a great point.
But I know it's for Uncharted, mate. Oh, you bet your ass I'm playing that before anything else.
That's a great call, man. That's a great call. Oh, I'm excited. Everybody, I'm going to go play me some Uncharted. Steve, thank you very much for being here, mate. Big, massive week. Big effort from you, sir, and I appreciate it. You may now go off duty. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you, sir. Off duty for me.
Beautiful work, Steve. Thank you very much. Troy, off duty as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. What else can you do? Like it, subscribe it, and you'll never... Oh, that was luck. Hey, that's something. I love everything about it. Ooh.
Fire splash!
Old Uncle Donkey.
Donkey.